Fred Sterling continues. Thank you for your love and light today. I will try to bring my heart's best to facilitate this journey. Therefore, on behalf of Kahu Fred Sterling and Master Guide Kirael from the 7th dimension, aloha and welcome, conscious creators, in the love and light of the two awesome guides that graced us for the past 30 plus years on earth and is still giving us the love and support that we need to move on with our shifting process. I can feel the light presence of their truth, trust, and passion. Kahu is on my left side, and Master Kirael is on my right side. And their energy is here with us today and propping me up properly. And I pray that once in a while they would nudge me and maybe they would share their wisdom with me. And I pray that I can be astute enough to know the messages. So I'll try my best to relay if they have any message that they want me to share with you in the moment. So the topic today, inspired by both Kahu and Kirael, to heal by is walking between dimensions. Let's all take a deep breath together in love and gratitude as I send you my greetings from the mountaintops of Lemuria. Take a deep breath now. Breathe in Lemuria. I am Patty Athena Sterling. I am here with you today. Still the co-host in 3D form. It is my honor and pleasure to do this journey with you. Like you, I'm passionately and consciously doing the healing journey from the space of fear and back to consciously creating in love. This is a process of aging the soul, life on earth. It has been my experience that when I focus on healing me first, magically my world shifts for the better. Loving gratitude for the privilege of your time. Welcome to another opportunity to heal and to widen your scope of understanding and how to navigate and steer your journey as a conscious creator through this time of great upheaval. So let's take a deep breath, another deep breath, and take advantage of this time to heal together in love. Loving gratitude to the new and returning members of Kirael Conscious Creators. Loving gratitude to those like Gail Jan who makes this event possible on the earth plane. Thank you for your commitment to illuminate your truth, trust, and passion to journey onward during this great shift. The journey of love is always about healing under all four bodies. Our emotional body, mental body, and spirit body. Physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We do this earth journey to evolve our love, to age our soul. Together we continue our quest as conscious creators to get a deeper understanding of the healing powers of the collective oneness of our hearts. As we collectively stand in our own truth, trust, and passion, we shift our personal world and the planet Earth. Since Kahu Fred Sterling's departure, I have had a deeper understanding to this truth. What you see with our physical eye isn't everything. Don't be blinded by what you can see. Keep in mind the essence of what lies beyond that. Today's topic, again inspired by Kahu and Kirael, to heal by today, walking between the world. As I read the focus of this program, let's take a deep breath and breathe in the magnificent love and light of Kahu and Kirael, and weave it with your own love and light. And together be one with it. So it would be my pleasure to read this write-up again, and inspired by Kahu and Kirael. It says, Dear Conscious Creators, me, Patty Athena Sterling, in my quest to develop a new relationship with Kahu and Kirael, I was led to be active with the 10 principles of consciously creating, in particular the 4 pillars. In that book, Kirael says that prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, masterminding are practices that help us manifest our dreams and heart's desires. The 4 pillars are the realm you work within once you realize that you have much more than you realize you are much more than merely human. You are a multi-dimensional being, free spirit having a human experience. Kahu and Kirael reiterate that the angels and guides and our galactic brothers and sisters are willing to show us the path beyond the third dimension, beyond the third dimensional thought matrix. They are not willing to walk it for us, but they will continue to light the path of understanding. And this way, each will determine his or her own chosen arrival in the new light of the great shift. I have since realized at a new level that love is a powerful magnetic force. I feel safe walking between the dimensions, to be in the trust of all that is. Kahu and Kirael continues to light my travels, its sleep state, and my walk on earth. As I invite you to expand your conscious awareness beyond expectations with the 10 principles of consciously creating. In my travels, I have also an intense feeling that big changes are coming about in the next 2 years. Some of our peers that I've talked to are feeling it too. Would you have any information about your realm, from your realm of guidance, on the type of changes? How do we as conscious creators prepare? So I invite you to share your thoughts and your guidance regarding what you feel is happening to us now in the next 2 years. So I asked for email, but we didn't get any, right, Gail? Email requests, so thank you for being here. Those of you in the chat room, thank you for your love and light, your support of love and light. And I know I've been talking to you folks in the past 2 weeks about this subject, and at first I went into kind of a so more turmoil is going to happen for us, and could be, right, everybody, more, because this is a great shift. And I think for myself, since Kahu has left the physical realm, it was a great, the greatest shift for me. But yet again, this past 3 months, I grew a lot because I wanted to create a new relationship with Kahu and Kirael. But I could only do that by raising my vibration of love. That's what I thought, oh my gosh. And so I've been consulting this 10 principles of consciously creating. And one thing I really was aha is I read it out loud to myself. And whenever there's a place where Master Kirael says my friends, I put my name in it. Instead of my friends, I would say, he called me Miss Special Ass. So it was like having a private session. It's really, really cool. So try that. You read the chapter and where it says my friends, or put your name in it, and you'll feel the different vibration of the the chapter that you're reading is really interesting. So,
It's like a private session.
yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
private session. You tend to, well, from my own experience, even though I read it like 3 or 4 times, but I guess with where I where I am since Kahu left, it's been my sense of, uh, maybe I would like to call it security blanket, because I didn't want to lose their energy, you know, and by by reading this, I felt close to them. Yeah. So, but because of that, I've evolved my my 10 principles of consciously creating, and passion to rethink my life because of what I have read, and my new understanding of the 10 principles of consciously creating, even especially the 4 pillars. And Aldine, would you like to share your take on the 4 pillars?
Sure. So part of the premise is that we're working towards a new understanding of being human. And if we take the 4 pillars, prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, and masterminding, I propose that those are foundational practices of human spirituality. So, they are, or the ability to use these practices are, the abilities are inherent. Anybody, any human being can do these things. And so, there is potential, if you do the practices, to bring heaven to earth. And the idea is that we can create this harmony between this 3D matrix that we're on, and we go beyond.
You bring the 3D to Earth?
Yes, no.
Oh, yeah.
The earth is 3D. You bring heaven to earth, and so we harmonize heaven and earth, because in what I know is, as we go through our experiences, we actually have the great honor to help those in other dimensions to actually learn from us. Because we do some radical things that I don't think they would do. And so, as they are watching our play, they say, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder how they got to that. But it's our honor to be able to show them potentials. There are a lot of potentials. There's a lot of ways to get to the same place. And if we use those 4 pillars, and they're pillars, you know, I thought, oh, stepping stones? No. Pillars, it's like you stand on the top and you go, hi. I think of pillars like that. And so, and it's foundational, because you have pillars and then you have the foundation if you're making a second floor. Anyway, that's the way my brain works. But that's what my thoughts were.
Oh, wow. So pillars, right?
Yeah, 4 pillars.
So
You can actually, on these pillars, create another level and then work from that level, because they're pillars. I don't know, that's as much as I know.
So you build upon
architecture stuff.
Yeah, you build upon. There's levels to those 4 pillars.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And then in coming up with this premise, because I have a very non-linear way of streaming things in my brain, I thought, okay, is the word gifts or is the word abilities? So I said those 4 pillars are the abilities inherent in every human. Because when we think of gifts, and you brought this up before, there is, what's the best word? Prejudice towards that word. Because it's like gifts are given by someone else. You know, they're not yours,
Right.
but they are yours, but they're not. So it's semantics.
Right.
But the energy of it is that somebody else gives it to you.
Right.
Whereas abilities is it's yours.
Yeah, I believe that. And you know why I came up with that? Because of myself. I have most of the time, when someone gives me a gift, I don't feel worthy of it, you know?
Ah.
So I thought about that and go, well, if I breathe into my thymus gland to bring forth all of this so-called past lives that I have to heal, then I realize that, okay, so then if I do that, when I breathe into my thymus gland, I also bring forth my abilities that I have developed in past life. Makes sense, right?
Yes, I like that.
So then when I thought about it, it's not gifts. I already established, I already worked so hard to get to the level of ability, especially for me, the healing abilities that I so, I'm so fond of. And yet, because when Master Kirael came first into my life, and he used to say, "You're a healer," I'm going, huh? I'm not a healer. I want to be healed. But then in the healing process of myself, then these abilities that I perfected in my past life was coming forth. So I was wondering one day, they're not really gifts, but there are the things, the patterns that we needed to heal in order to bring forth that abilities we have perfected in our past life. There's some healing to do, right? There's some healing to do. And I know for you, Aldine, thank you for that. It was awesome. You're having issues with your ankles, right?
Yes.
And I think when you start to understand what you need to heal, so your abilities would come forth, and you're going to surprise yourself when you do. Of course, you gotta tend to it. The medical doctors have to tend to it, but then you have to also tend to it from the cellular memory, of what's causing the root cause of what's causing your ankle pain. So I really believe that. So I call it ability versus gifts. So what do you guys think? Yeah, because those gifts, I understand. And for me, I said, oh yeah, okay, I've perfected him in so many past lives, so I own them. So what's blocking me from really offering them to this world now during this great shift in consciousness? Make sense?
Yes, and especially since you have these 4 practices
Yeah.
that can actually move you forward. So that's pretty amazing. Then the other mental discussion I had was, okay, what's the difference between balance and harmony? And I had said earlier at another program that balance to me means duality. So to me, balance comes in the 3rd dimension. Because in order to balance, you have to have the same level of weight on both sides with the fulcrum in the middle, right? That's how you do a balance. But then harmony, I thought, if we're talking about more than the 3rd dimension, so my premise again is that as we go through our human existence and our fellow friends from different dimensions say, oh, I'm going to tune into the so-so series of the what should we call them? E-drama for Earth drama. So they're looking in the E-drama and they're saying, oh, what's going with this particular series? We're going to watch this series, and they watch what we're doing. And then they say, oh, and because theirs isn't necessarily a dualistic kind of society, then if we use the concept of harmonizing, then it allows you more depth in how they can use the information after they watch the E-drama. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So we have E-dramas, right? Earth dramas.
Earth.
So the
I
E-dramas,
like that.
they watch the E-dramas. These friends of ours from different places, they're watching the E-dramas. They go, wow, why did they do that? And then they have a discussion amongst their Facebook group, and then they're all talking about it and say, what if, what if, what if? And then somebody has the bright idea of saying, let's send them a message. So somebody gets a download, and we come to a place like this, and we share some of the downloads that these guys who are watching the E-dramas are telling us.
Well, you know, that's so interesting that you brought that up, because a while back, Master Kirael says we come with our entourage of guidance from the angel in the guidance realm, right? And so, but they don't, unless we say help, you know, or pray to them or use the 4 pillars so they can get involved with our lives and give us guidance, advice. They won't do the journey for us.
Right.
But we also have, Master Kirael used to say to me that you have the young angels that assign to us and watches our E-drama.
Yeah.
I like this E-drama. Like K-drama, only it's E-drama. I love
Earth
that.
drama.
I love that E-drama. So we have these angels that are assigned to us. And so, because one day they will come on Earth. And they will have to do their journey on Earth. And perhaps that by watching us, you have a group of angels, you know, and you're being of service to those young angels that soon will say, oh yeah, that looks like fun, yeah. I'm going to sign up for the Earth life, right? I mean, is that cool? I mean, when you think about that, isn't our Earth journey so fun?
Absolutely.
We become the teachers, again, the teacher and the student at the same time. And getting back to the 4 pillars, that's how I developed a new relationship with Kahu and Kirael. Because I know they won't come. I have to meet them halfway. You know, they won't come unless I'm saying I have to meet them halfway, saying, when I raise my vibration of love, that's when they're there for me. But if I'm in this depressed mode, you know, they won't come because it's a low vibration, and they're trying to teach me that, hey, you know what? If you want to be involved with me, gotta be in the space of love. So that's what I learned. You know, we got to raise our vibration to be in touch with our guidance, and with for me, Master Kirael and Kahu, and and you know what? Because of that, I miss the Kahu's physical presence. Mm-hmm. You know, I miss the hugging part of hugging him in the physical, but you know what? His love is really, really so huge. And I know you all can feel it. And just call on him. Call on Kirael 3 times. Call on Kahu 3 times and say, hey, Kahu, I want to feel your love. And they will be there, but you got to meet them halfway. Like I said, you got to raise your vibration, because if you call them in the this press mode. Yes, I tried that. It didn't work. But one thing I know, it's a 5 breath. And when I'm in a depressed mode and I want to send an SOS to Kahu and Master Kirael, I start breathing and breathing the 5 breath, breathing into my heart. And actually doing the whole 5 breath series, and that gets my level of love up there where okay, it's not that they not paying attention to me, it's then that level of love, when I raise my vibration, is when I can hear them, when I can feel them. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? So,
I had, so one of my teachers said that when we are trying to manifest something,
Yeah.
like contacting Kahu and Master Kirael, that we put our request, because we need to match vibration. Let's say we have a five-story building. So we put our request out on the 5th story. And that we have to stay on the 5th story, we have to stay on that level in order to get the request back.
right.
But sometimes we go down to the 3rd floor and then they try to send the request back to us on the 5th floor. And so they put those notes, when your postman comes and he's trying to deliver a package but you're not there, so they give you this paper, right? And they say, please come to the post office because we couldn't deliver your package. And you have to go to the post office, and that's what that little paper says. Well, what happens is, it's on the 5th floor, it's a day like today, very windy, woof, the little paper gets lost. So when we say, oh my goodness, we have to go back to the 5th floor because that's where I sent the message, we go to the 5th floor and we think, they're not listening. But it's because we didn't stay on the 5th floor and the wind came and blew the paper away.
Well, wow.
They didn't quite say it in those words.
I know.
Translate
But
things in a different
that's
way.
a good explanation. That's true. So, but also, we asked for help, but we don't have the patience to wait for the answers, and maybe the answers come later, and that's me. I'm so in a rush. I want the answers now, but you can't really. You can't until you reach a certain level of the vibration of love. Then that's when you get all your message. And you know what? I think when you reach we send out our requests, right? We have this healing bowl, and we have lots of requests. But the people, and every night we come here with Kahu and Kirael and all the guidance, the higher selves. But we don't spend enough time to listen for the answers to our questions, or what's our next step towards healing. And we think, hey, they're not answering, but that's not true, right? It's not. Well, Master Kirael always said, if you have a question, you got the answer, but are you willing to stay still enough to really get the answer? And you're right, it's not available on the 3rd dimension, on the 3rd level, right? You got to reach out in love, and because they are love. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. The other thing I was thinking, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm
No, go ahead.
The other thing that I was thinking is the 4 pillars. So prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, mastermind. They are practices that can be done singularly by yourself and be done with multiple people. And that potential is profound.
Okay.
That is how we are able to connect on many different levels with all of us who are seeking the same end goal. So there's all of us seeking the same end goal. We call them goddesses. And these practices can be used by multiple people working towards a single goal. Where most, communication, that's kind of you. The other ones are more, to me anyway, more singular within yourself. But these four have dimensionality to them, because it doesn't have to be a single person. It can be multiple people, which gives you so much more energy. It builds the energy. I didn't say that right, but anyway, it builds the energy to a different level. It's potential for logarithmic energy. So it jumps like really high. Like, how can I say this? I'm trying to think in English, and I'm thinking in math. Like 10 to the 2 power is 10 times 10. 10 to the 3 power is 10 times 10 times 10. See, it's logarithmic. It jumps like really quickly. Does that make sense to you? Anyway,
Okay.
Logarithmic. Just think of the word logarithmic. It's, anyway. Okay. I'll be quiet now.
Oh, you give us something to think about, yeah?
Yeah, it's logarithmic. When we relate to other people, then the potential for that message to go further is phenomenal.
Yeah. Since Kahu left the airplane, I've been getting a lot of people saying, hey, you know what? I got a message for you from Master Kirael and Master Kahu. I go, you do? I mean, people that didn't think they could channel, but they have written, oh my God, they love me enough to write a message for me and things like, or from their own guides. I was going, wow, this is so cool. There's a lot of potential people that can channel. And I'm starting to think, hey, why not me? Why not me? Why not you? I say we each have our own brand, right? My goodness, I got multiple messages from Kirael and Kahu from different people, but they're from their own. I think they're from their own brand or understanding of I call it brand of their take on the Kahu and Kirael energy. So I'm really happy for that they are sharing their thoughts, their channeled messages with me. And so that came to mind. I go, why not me? Why can't I channel? So I'm trying to work on that. And I feel Master Kirael's nudge already. And I feel that the 4 pillars have prayer, meditation, and sleep state, and because I wanted something for myself. I wanted to truly understand the 10 principles, but especially this time, the 4 pillars. And you know what? Because I wanted something new, something that we can, this is the basic, the 10 principles. Kahu and Kirael gave us the basic. But we as evolving spirit, having a wonderful time on earth, learning our lessons, evolving our soul. I mean, we can evolve these 10 principles however we want it to be. And Aldine, you sharing your take on the 10 principles, especially the 4 pillars, I'm saying, wow, that raises my understanding of the 10 principles. And my brain now is trying to understand your it's like my brain cells is trying to understand what you had just shared with me. Isn't it amazing?
It's just the e-dramas.
Yeah. I'm going, wow. So that is the evolution of our I think, is it our mental body? Yeah, is it? Okay, so there's a lot of more questions than answers for me. I like the question part because I'm always questioning. Even from the time I met Master Kirael, he always said, you can do this. And I'm saying, oh, if you do this, you know, I didn't take his word for face value. I never do for any other. Never did. And I felt so bad because here's this guy from seventh dimension. I said, oh, I got to prove it to myself before I say, put my stamp of approval. And I guess that was always my relationship with him, you know. And so my brain cells and my brain is trying to understand your take on the 4 pillars. And you know what's exciting? Because of my need to evolve, and especially I'm really working on the 4 pillars, especially my sleep state. I'm taking it seriously. The safe space that Kahu gave us, you know, after you do my 5 breath, I go into my safe space. And for a while since Kahu left the earth plane, it's just been Kahu and Kirael, me and Kahu, always having a conversation on that conference table. But 2 nights ago, Steve Jobs was there.
Isn't that cool?
Steve Jobs, can you imagine? I'm going, wow, what is he about? And wow, you know, and he came up with the apple, right? And interesting, his that apple is like an apple with a bite mark in it. Oh, that is so cool, and that to me changes the world. You know, that what he brought onto Earth changed the world. I'm going, wow, what if Steve Jobs, if I stay with him long enough, if he's in my sleep state, if he's on my conference table long enough, will he download some information for me that will really change the world?
Yes.
And you know, that's so interesting. From the 4 pillars, because of my need to create a relationship with Kahu and Kirael, because they're no longer here on the earth plane. I cannot touch Kahu, in the flesh. But yet, you know, when I come to this here at 11:30, I can feel his hand. Because I used to feel sad and say to him, you know what, we didn't hold hands enough. So one night, I come here, and here he is, waiting for me. He held out his hand like this, and God, and we held hands, and I go, wow, it's just like holding his hand in the flesh. You know, that's the kind of experience. Now, putting all that together in my house, he's there present. I mean, of course he's not in the flesh, but his light body. He's there, and he it's like you know what a hologram is? Well, he appears that way to me, and I'm saying, okay, maybe that's what Steve Jobs is trying to help me understand, how you and I can now have holograms. I can be at your house, Aldine, in a holographic form, right? Is that the word, holographic form?
Yeah.
And you and I can converse that way, and that will release the need for a cell phone.
Telepathy. Did I ever tell you the story about my friend and the telepathy piece? Okay, my friend she's really kind of amazing. She can talk to any kind of things. So she's hugging this tree. She's having this wonderful conversation with this tree, telling the tree about how much she appreciates the tree, telling the tree how her journey up to that point, the different flowers that she saw, whatever. And she happened to have her cell phone in her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And the cell phone rang. She picked up the cell phone and then answered, that I was talking to her daughter, and then hung up. And then she went back to her conversation with the tree. So the tree said, "What is that box you pulled out from your pocket?" And she said, "Oh, it's my cell phone. I had talked to my daughter, and so we need this box to be able to communicate." And the tree asked her, "Why?" And she said, "Well, that's how I can talk to her." And then the tree said, "But you can talk to me. We're talking right now.
Yeah.
We don't have a box."
Yeah. So,
And she said, "Yes, that's true."
isn't that exciting? I mean, we can tell. Maybe is it telepathic when
Yes.
we send our hologram to that person?
Yes, it's telepathy. Yes.
Is it, or is
Yes.
it something
Well,
else?
it's a in my mind it's a packet of photonic energy that we exchange in the etheric fabric.
Yeah, but you don't have an appearance of your physical form. Is
If
that telepathy?
If you have FaceTime, if you put FaceTime in your telepathic, what do they have? What do you buy? You buy options. You buy apps. You get the FaceTime app, put it in your telepathy box, and then ta-da!
Not okay. Yes, you can. But I'm saying we don't need that. We can say, I can go to your house, and we can have a conversation, and I can have an image of myself in etheric form, and we don't need a box. I think that's what Steve Jobs is trying to tell me.
We're getting there.
I mean, isn't that exciting?
We're getting to that, but on the physical realm, we think, oh, we need this box. Before the box was this big, before the box had dial, and we're getting there. This conversation is reminding me of the Soul Speak session that we had so many years ago. And Master Kiriel had mentioned right now we're relying on our voice box to communicate. But then
That's Susanna speaking in the studio.
they said, and I was thinking about, can you hear me or should I go closer to you?
You could go closer.
Oh, why don't you guys come here? Don't sit on Master Kiriel. Don't sit on Kahu. Come over here. Bring your chair.
Well, basically, and I was listening to it.
Now we have a new format. Isn't that awesome? The new format is developing right here.
The soul speak is that our soul speaks to us all the time, he said. And over the years, he's given me examples of how soul speak happens in my life. And what you're saying, what you were talking about, is that we forgot how to soul speak. And the 10 principles is a way that we as individuals and as a group can connect through soul speak. When I pray for my friend that I just found out, as a brain tumor in his brain, it's kind of like, okay, I asked him in meditation, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And then, yes, prayer. I said, I will send you energy, healing energy. You and your higher self decide what you want to do with this healing energy I send. So that's one way of the prayer, and there's a sleep state involved in that. And for me, it's me connecting to my friend's soul. And that then it would be, in my meditation, I got that message, was his soul speaking to me in meditation.
Yeah.
And then the mastermind is I want to find out what his mastermind is for his health. And then I ask myself, do I really need to know that? Do I really need to call him? Or is it just in this ability to speak to each other's soul that I can find a knowingness within me and what my next step is to help him?
Yeah, that's one I think one brand of connecting telepathically, and you have your another brand that you have shared with me. I'm speaking of, like in Star Wars, Star Wars. I remember the Star Wars. The guy, is like you form your third dimensional body in front of that person. That's what I'm talking about. I think we all do that in some way. I think we have the ability. It's in our cellular memory, and that is what I'm so excited about that. And I know Kahu and Kirael is helping, and with Steve Jobs, I'm like, Steve Jobs, what is he about? Why is he in my sleep state? And I'm saying, you know what I have to say, because I wanted to, okay, first I wanted to, when Kirael first came into my life, I developed my spiritual body. And I was so spiritual body that my other body was not balanced. And then I said, okay, I need to learn about my emotional body. And when I started to learn, especially about the human emotions, and the relationships, the human relationships, that the emotions of human relationships. And like 2 weeks ago, I decided, now I think I have to understand my mental body. Then I decided, I need to ask for more brain cells. And the 5 breath, how we say we awaken the chromosomes of youth and vitality. And because, I'm 73 years old, they say, or that's part of the aging, you start losing your brain cells, so your chances of getting dementia increases as you age. I said, no way. Then I started to say, we need to get more brain cells. So I started doing that. I said, because I wanted something new. I wanted to evolve our 10 principles. I wanted to add our signature cell healing and the 5 breath. And this is, I kept asking every night, and they brought me Steve Jobs. And I want to, what? I want to learn how to go to Rosanna in Las Vegas in a peer before or in a hologram. How cool is that? And we can all do that. Wouldn't that be fun? Or we don't even have to travel using the airplane to go to Sedona, Arizona, and commune with our ET friends. We don't have to do that, right? Isn't that a cool? I think it's a cute, cool future that we have.
And I think you're right. I think we already do it, but I think we do it when we're sleeping.
Yeah.
When our physical body is rejuvenating, then we do whatever we need to do and visit whomever we need to visit.
You know what? And then we went to, some of us went to see Avatar. And then that's when things started to come together. I said, wow, especially the way when they were underwater. I love their scenery. I love Mother Tree. And I saw Mother Tree before in that's almost the same image. And I'm going, wow, that is so cool. So we are traveling. We are traveling. As light workers, we are traveling. Isn't that cool? And so but we have to go beyond our so-called limitations, boundaries of so-called, what is it? So we still can stay here on Earth. I believe we can do all that stuff and still ground ourselves on Earth when we have to, right? As light workers. So in the prayer, in Master Kirael's prayer for the beauty, he says we are no longer humans, we are light workers. And I used to say, what does that mean? But I now understand when I enlarge myself as a light worker, I have more access to a lot more out there, so to speak.
The thought that came to me earlier is that through the 4 pillars in the 10 principles, we access what's already in our omniconscious.
Yeah, that's the mental
understand-
body, right?
I didn't understand what omniconscious was all about before, and I'm beginning to understand more about what my omniconscious and how my omniconscious is related to everybody else's omniconscious. And Master Kiriel mentioned in the recording, the soul speak, he says, we can communicate with anybody in anywhere in the world, and we can communicate to trees and your plants and your dogs, and if we can do that, we can communicate with, it's so funny because I laughed, then we can communicate with each other. If we believe we can communicate this way to the plants and have them thrive, can you imagine what will happen using the soul speak, accessing the omniconscious, using the 4 pillars, and then we can, change the world. And this is what the mastermind that our goddess group has, is to be of service, first to the self, and then to each other, and then the world.
I think this, yes, and this, the conscious creators, is like the 100th monkey, you know. You have one monkey finally trying, you washing the bowl by the seashore, and all of a sudden it just, automatically, other monkeys are doing. I think we're doing the same thing that we hear. I'm saying to you, and thanks to Kahu and Kirael, and saying, okay, I want to do this. I want to come to your house. I want to see the world, not using the hologram, by using my hologram to maybe we can even in our hologram we can sense, we still have our 5 senses. What do you think, Aldine? We can still utilize our 5 senses. We can still smell the flowers from other parts of the world.
I think that capability is available right now.
Yeah.
I think the reason we're talking in conscious creators, it's the consciousness part that we are trying to move towards. So that we'll be conscious. I think when we're unconscious, we can do anything.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me about that. So we're not limited to the earth plane anymore, but still enjoying our walk here on the earth plane.
And making sure that as e-drama actors, we're playing our part appropriately.
We're e-dramas.
The question that comes to my mind when I hear things like this is, what do we define as appropriate? Do it appropriately. And because I keep saying what's appropriate to me might not be appropriate to somebody across the world that wants to hold a gun, and point it at somebody else. So it's, and I think right now I'm thinking again about soul speak and communicating on that level. Because my example is with some of the so-called turmoil, which is defined as turmoil in the political world and in terms of Russia and China's involvement and all of these involvement of different leaders, and I defined it as turmoil. What if China gets involved in this Russia-Ukrainian conflict? What's that gonna mean? And so I immediately said, what can I do? And I said, okay, I know prayer. Then I call it a hologram. I had the vision of the president or the leader of China. And I was talking to him. I was talking about peace. I don't know the details of the conversation, but it's like the whole idea was to create peace and goodwill because we are one global community.
Yes, we are.
And then
Let me ask you this: how do you? But it didn't make a difference because you did that. Made a difference in your life, right?
Right.
But do you know if it made a difference to the person that you were soul speaking with?
Well, I don't know for a fact.
Yeah, but you
heard
did
the
it for
fact
you.
that in the news, they said that the leader of China is wanting to have peace talks. So, was it just me or was it other people in the world who was having this prayer and meditation and mastermind? So that is, and I just thought the power of the 4 pillars, again, when we are a collective, that we can achieve different results. And for me, it's peace and goodwill. And so I'm feeling utmost importance to focus on the 4 pillars for me. And then that keeps me from viewing something as turmoil to viewing an event and saying, I know I can do something about it. So it shifts from the turmoil, the fear, to I have tools, I can use it, let's see what can happen. And then feeling that Master Kirael's word on the recording today was saying that we are connected to all these souls, all these aspects. And I may not know how many people have the same vision, but I trust that there are people, human people, as well as, I guess I'm going to say, guidance, that have this similar vision. So that is where the importance of the 10 principles is key in this time.
I have a message from Teresa.
Oh, hi, Teresa.
So Teresa said, she said, yes, there is no separation with love, endless possibilities.
Yes. Well,
Definitely.
yes, you do that, but not but. What you do is you take, for myself, I don't listen to the news. I don't, even to the local news, and I know that when I have to know something, I would automatically bring it to, in my attention. That's how I do. And for you and others that say, yeah, this is what I'm going to be what I do, and I know it works. It works because you remove yourself from the chaos, and the chaos, and a lot of you come together and form this collective understanding, collective energy that does affect the world. That is true. And the more of you that says, okay, we don't want this in the world. But then there's other people like lower, younger souls that need that experience to point a gun at other people. So if you can do that without judgment, Can you do that by saying, oh, that guy who's pointing the gun or shooting the gun, killing that person? Can you do it? Can you say to yourself that I'm not making a judgment of that and saying, okay, that's what their soul needed at this time? So that's my question. You don't have to answer. Yeah, what do you
Well,
think?
no, I'm wondering if we go back to the E-drama, the bad guys in the E-drama play the role of being the bad guys.
Right.
And the good guys, they play the role of being the good guys. And oftentimes, in the dramas I like, the good guys get together and somehow they change what the bad guys are doing. And so,
Without conditions, without judgment. How does that happen?
There's still judgment because it's still a drama, so you have to have judgment. But so you're playing the part of being part of this group of good guys that are trying to look at the bad guys and have them see the world differently. But they're still playing that part. So the appropriateness is, to me, the part that you play in your drama, you have to be true to the part you play in your drama. I don't know about you, but sometimes I watch a drama and I say, that person was such a good bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, that she was just so perfect. Everything she did matched what her personality was. And although she was terrible, I mean terrible not in her acting, but terrible in the drama, she was a good terrible.
See,
Because it made the drama more consistent and more believable. Because she didn't change her spots. Her spots remained throughout the whole drama. So you're on
So
the good
she-
guy team.
so she did that so you could learn.
Yes. And so your team is out there saying, no, guys, let's think about this together and let's see if there are other possibilities. And the director, you're talking to the director, can't we do something about the outcome of this drama to make it be a lesson for all those who are viewing the E-drama?
Absolutely. So
Good job.
yeah, good job.
Ask for some royalties.
So yes, so this is how how I evolved with the 10 principles, especially with the 4 pillars, because I wanted to establish a new relationship with Kahu, and I got that, and it's I'm getting it, and it's like wonderful, and he is, and I'm sure he'll be a hologram soon, as soon. And I promise, I really believe that. And that's what Steve Jobs is in my safe space for. Isn't that exciting? What can you do with your safe space? When you say, you write down your question, you write down what you want, and you go to your safe space every night and you ask. And then there's a Steve Jobs in there. And you first you go, huh? What is he there for? And then you keep going, we keep talking like this, and I soon understand, like, hey, he got an answer. He got the answer to my question. And so my separation, like Teresa says, is like there's no separation between me and Kahu. Only that I just want to hug him, in the physical. But do I need that? Do I really need that?
For now.
But I could feel his physicalness when I came here in the bowl, and I could feel his flesh. Now, doesn't that change your
Perspective
of life?
possibilities.
Yes, of your life here on earth. Isn't that awesome? And when we do that, we're no longer limited to. No longer limited, we don't have to, because of this program, thank you for being here, but I guess I got a lot more from this program because of what you guys are sharing with me, that, I don't have to miss Kahu anymore. He's always there. He gives me the answers. He's now that I'm okay with his hologram, I can see him. Of course, like he's there for me. He can talk to me telepathically still. But what if I could hear the next step? I could hear the voice vibration. I would love that. Or would I? Would I still be afraid?
I hear Peter.
Well,
We do.
I do.
but I can write the thought. I write down the thought. And when I do channel him through my writing, there is a difference between Kahu and Kirael. So those of you, yeah?
So Dr. Green Gibbs, she said, I believe if we take our thought into our heart, we will not judge anyone. Love, love, love.
Yeah.
And Teresa, it changes everything.
Yeah. So for me, it's not the matter of, I'm gonna go there because I'm gonna tell this person that what he's doing is wrong, pointing the gun. That's not me. I'm saying, okay, my job is to raise my vibration, my love vibration, and that will change the atmosphere of the atmosphere of Mother Earth. And do you know that the next 2 years, yes, there's going to be turmoil, but we light workers don't have to buy into that. Yes, there will be turmoil. Yes, there will be turmoil. But we can be in the so-called the eye of the storm, and we light workers will be all right. We're always going to be at the right place at the right time. And I know this, and I hope you all know that too. So I think we should just keep loving our journey, making a difference with that one person, And so when one of my cousins says, you don't watch the news anymore? I said, no, because I want to stay in the positive. And my life, it got better, especially now that since Kahu left. And my whole thing is not being more aligned with, because I want to develop a new relationship with him. And that's what I got from really trying to understand the 4 pillars. And it's an amazing journey. And I know you all have that potential. If we collectively say, okay, yes, we can be subject to the yin and yang of Earth society, the E-drama. I love that, E-drama. But we can also say, okay, let's stay in love, and that we affect the world that way. And I don't even judge my nephews. Boy, they know how to drink alcohol, but I don't judge them. I say, okay, hey, that's what you need to do today. Have at it, because I've been there once. I enjoyed alcohol then, but now I things change, and it is an amazing journey. So
I guess one question comes out for me, because as a human being, I still am working through the yin and yang of life. And I find myself back at center sooner than, let's say, 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, and realizing that the importance for me when I was off-centered was to have somebody say, "Hi Sue, how are you doing?" And as simple as that. And that, just a simple phrase, getting a flower from my grandniece, and that was like little, I'm gonna call it pockets of shifting And so my question, and it's part of my daily prayer, is how can I, every day is a new day where I have the ability to share my goddess light with someone else.
Yeah.
And that ripples out. I use the concept of rippling out often. Just by one word, one smile, that can shift the energy of the person that's bringing up my groceries. And so it's that, how do I, as one human being, assist others as they're going through their shift in consciousness?
Here's my thing, okay? My thing it's every time I go outside the walls of my house, everything is synchronized. Have you guys ever experienced that? Everything is synchronized to my advantage. The timing is like unbelievable. So I'm saying, wow, the universe is providing me all this synchronicity on the positive side. So I said, then I started to think, oh my, do I deserve that? Is it a gift from my universe? No, it's because I did the steps. I was clear in my mind. I had the 3 C's. I did the 10%. I prana breathe before I start my car. And there's always an angel, that's angel. Angels among us, our entourage. They're there. So the more I heal the self, heal the world. That's what it is. And I try not to make judgment anymore. I try not to make judgment. I look at that person, I said, hey, that's what they need to do. Great. That's great. And now I say, and when now I'm getting to be okay about, I'm saying to Kahu, wow, Kahu, I mean, since you left, I have grown my spirituality so much more. I have understood my emotional body so much more. Now I'm trying to understand my mental body, and which I go, because Master Kirael used to say, you're really strong in the mental body. I'm saying, but it's not, the mental body is not our local brain. Did you know that? Not. So I'm saying, it's not. So then I have to reshift my thinking again. So if it's not my local brain, so what is it? So my goal, which the Buddhist prayer is that's my goal in life until I start to leave the earth plane. When I begin to start preparing to leave the earth plane. I know, we all gonna do that. But before I do, I'm trying to enjoy my life here on earth and as a light worker. And all those things that I feel that's available, it's what you said. Yes, we are in the yin and yang, but we learn how to balance the yin and yang, right? We learn, like, I really like the word harmony. I like it better than balance, because when you balance the yin and yang, you kind of say, how do you balance the good with the bad? That didn't make sense to me until you brought the word harmony. That be at peace with all the so-called badness of life, and I don't have to be part of it, and make judgment. So that's what I do. So that's what happens. What's happening to me since Kahu had left the earth plane. So he's still with me, not in his physical realm, but you know what? When I need to feel his physicalness, he's there for me, and it's amazing. So what can you do with that ability? The cells in our bodies that already knows how to telecommunicate. Is that the word? Yeah.
So speak.
Yeah.
So speak.
So what?
Yeah.
So Gail, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts on that?
When you talk about balance, I also see that it's there's no good or bad. It's just good to me.
Huh.
And so then I know I can trust always and let it go. Because that's what I'm learning. And I have that anxiousness all the time. I'm trying to change that. So I see the word balance as no opposites.
Huh.
It's just love. And I think that's what we all doing. And you know what? We have a good program today.
We do?
Good, yeah. People are coming in.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not saying quite 100, is there? But they're coming in, you know?
Yeah, it's really, really. I'm shocked by what I'm getting for this program too. You know, and because you see, I think we're already doing the journey, but we have to put the pieces together to see our life as a whole, and we do it as a community, as a conscious creators together, and we each have our specialness to bring. And you, Sue, you have your specialness, and you, Aldine, your science is mine. My brain is saying, oh, I want to understand what you said earlier.
It's so interesting because for me, it's after Kahu left his physical body, one of the thoughts I had was, oh, now who's going to clarify my thoughts? Who's going to confirm that what I'm thinking is right or not? Or I need to tweak it a little bit. And so I was thinking, then got to the really sadness of missing Kahu and Master Kirael because they were kind of together, right? And then really realizing that we were always, with Peter too. Peter and I were connected in spirit before we met in the physical plane. And I was reminded of that in my journaling over the years since he passed. And it's the same thing with Kahu and the same thing with Master Kirael. And so I was watching this movie, and these two people were on their computer, and they were, what is that you call it? They're it's not FaceTime, but they're typing, and they can respond right away. What is that? Huh? Anyway.
I understand what you mean.
And then I laughed because in some of my writings, I would write something and I would take a breath, and then Peter would write something. I would be writing something I heard, so-called heard from Peter.
Cool.
So I had that kind of experience. I go, oh, this is so cool. That, and that was a reminder that we were always connected in spirit, and will continue to be connected in spirit. And he's working, like Reverend Carol told me before she passed, and she told me this in a meditation, that we would be doing the same work of healing. I'll be on the earth plane, and she was going to be on the angelic realm. So then that's my communication with Reverend Carol.
So I have a question for you. We're almost out of time. So, you know how Master Kiriel always says in Kahu, you know when you know, and be in the now, be in the actuality of now. So because of my really trying to understand the 4 pillars, I started to think, now, healing. What's the purpose of healing? Do we heal the past first? Or do our goals initiate the healing? Our goals now for the future? Does the goals that we have now initiate the type of healing that we need? to achieve our goals?
I have a very convoluted answer.
Okay, scientist.
Very convoluted.
I call you my
Is it
scientist.
chicken or the egg?
Yeah,
Yes.
The same thing.
Yes.
The chicken or the egg, which is proverbial. So all the answers that everyone had, those answers are correct.
Okay, so then comes the earlier conversation about gifts, our gifts, so-called our healing abilities are gifts to us. I go thumbs down to that. I go to that. I really believe that because they're not gifts again, and that is what I want to all of you to realize. We have developed those gifts from past. Now there is something that blocks us from bringing it forth in this lifetime. What is it? Is it because for the females we were executed for that? But do we heal because of that? Our execution? I think our reason to heal is so we can move, we can help other people. Instead of, oh yeah, I was burned to stake. That's why I have to heal that part. But then what if we switch and say, okay, I need to heal this so I can be more progressive. I can be more, I can attain my goals in life. What do you think? Is that better to me? I think it's better.
I'm wondering if all we're doing by making these shifts are we're playing a different part in our e-drama. We just play different parts, and then before an actor plays a particular part, he or she tries their best to get as much information about that character, whether it be their feeling from reading the words of the script or whatever, as much information, and to relate with that character so that when that actor is portraying the character,
Okay.
then the audience is picking up on, okay, I know this guy, all of these things, that's how I peg this guy. And then as the drama goes on, there's some kind of glitch or some whatever, and then you go, wow, that was so exciting. I didn't expect that actor to do that. That's what I think we do. Because we play different roles. We're pretty good, you know. You don't realize it, but the guys above who are watching the e-dramas, they tune in.
And you know what? I can feel Pastor Carol going, yay, they finally got it.
You got your answer to your question.
Huh?
You got your answer to your question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got, somebody has comments?
Oh yeah, but Teresa and Bree.
Yeah.
Teresa, thank you, beautiful, inspiring goddesses. Now it is the time for all of us to step it up to who we are. We are strong and full of love.
Absolutely.
Dr. Bree, Patty, you are right on. And she said, sorry, I meant the statement was right on.
Oh, see, it's a new game. E-drama.
Yes?
I
Each
have
other.
a different perspective. I wrote it down on my notebook a little bit ago on the concept of gift. Gift, yes, we receive gifts, but there's a reciprocal giving and receiving. Where did the gift come from? You know, where did the chicken or the egg
Chicken or the
concept?
egg.
But then this concept of I experience a gift and I want to share that gift, and that gift comes from love. And it's and how we interpreted the gift of whether being raised the way we did, we went into the unworthiness mode as opposed to, wow, look at this, you know, look what I got. And that feeling of wonderment, of gratitude is a gift we give out. So the gift is the giving and the receiving. And I'm just thinking about our grandniece this past weekend. I mean, she was elated with the gifts that we gave her. And just that elation was a gift I felt. So in her receiving a gift, she gave a gift to me. I received a gift. So it's like, how do we as goddesses, male or female, how do we nurture these abilities, these gifts, the exchange, the sharing of abilities, so that we have a world that is more in alignment to what we would like to live in.
Okay, here's Kahu tickling my ear and says, "You're going over time."
I was going like this.
Yeah, you're going over time. I mean, it's really tickling. He's tickling my ear.
But what a wonderful thing to ponder.
Yes.
You bring out something to ponder, and the pondering is perfection in itself.
That's the gift of wonder. I call it the gift of wonder.
I want to say to Kahu and Kirael, you guys did well. You nurtured our goddesses well. You out there, the goddesses in the chat room and future listeners. I mean, give a hand to Master Kirael and Matt Kahu. And you know what? I encourage everyone to channel in writing, both of them, because you're going to bring your own brand. If you don't have a guide in particular, and I know most of you, like my goddess sister, Green Goddess in Las Vegas, she brings out the whale energy. My God, she can. Oh, I can feel her. Is she in?
Not that I know.
Yeah, well, I can feel her now, and the whales, and she said the next 2 years, there's going to be a lot of turmoil, a lot of movement of energy, and we sense that. But we goddesses have to stay centered. We have to keep raising our vibration, and whether you want to tune into the news, that's your call. It's part of your journey. I don't wish that. I know whatever I need will come to me automatically in a hologram form. I love that. Steve Jobs in my safe space. Unreal. I'm happy now. So,
Could you explain safe space for those who don't know?
well,
Safe space
in Signature Cell Healing, I think it's in the book, right? A safe space, your meditation space where you confer with guidance. For me, it's Kahu and Kirael is always there for me, waiting for me. And just in the past 3 months, Steve Jobs was the very first one that's entered my space, and that is in my sleep state, my meditation space. So keep up, and this has been exciting. Did you like this program? Awesome.
It was fun.
So it's like, is it which came first, the chicken or the egg? So, okay, so I want to thank you all. I got a lot from it. Master Kirael and Kahu, oh my God, you're just hugging me right now. And I say to you, please hug the people out there. And yes, do write them. And bring out your own brand of Kahu and Kirael. And I know Kahu's forte was healing, so he's available to you, and Kirael is available to you. And just call their name 3 times, and the magic happened. So thank you for and I invite you to this healing Thursday and Sunday, and the healing focus will be the healing powers of intent. So meditate. Kahu would say, your journey on earth is still about healing the self, healing the world, and you will know when you know. Meditate, meditate, meditate. And we love you, and I love your active participants here. We have different views on different things, but it's the e-drama. So remember, you have an entourage there that you could call on for help. And if Master Kirael and Kahu is part of your entourage, give them light and ask them your questions, and they will be there available to you. Okay, so we have on the March 29th, we have another Conscious Creators. It's ever evolving. Just because Kahu and Kirael are not here in the physical, that doesn't mean that it has to stop. The program has to stop. And I can see it right here. Master Kirael and Kahu, my God, look at the goddesses you've been brought up and nurtured. You should give them a diploma tonight. And there's a graduation. So, thank you. Imagine a beautiful life for yourself, your family, and friends. We wish you so many opportunities to say Amazing Grace. And you out there are my amazing grace. So thank you for tuning in. And I hope you join us for this Sunday, healing the power of intent. So, aloha and mahalo.
I'm glad Bree and Teresa shared.